If I was starting from absolute scratch, this is exactly what I'd do to make my first seven figures online. And this is exactly what I did to make my first seven figures online. And it took me about 18 months. And getting to a seven figure level, it's pretty simple. So in this video, I'm just going to break it down for you step by step. I fired my job April 1st, 2016 before ever making a dollar for myself as an entrepreneur. And that's because I did the most important thing, which is simply just making a decision. Now, hold on real quick before you click off of this video, because you might be like, oh, I thought he was going to talk about the skills or the frameworks or the step-by-steps to make my first $1 million online. I am. But everything starts with this. And if you don't have about 5 minutes for me to break this down, then nothing that you will consume online will ever work for you because you have not mentally made the decision to make it work. So I mentally became unemployable April 1st, 2016. I hadn't made a dollar for myself as an entrepreneur, but I was willing to draw a line in the sand and willing to die behind that decision that I am going to figure out a way to make my business work for me no matter what. What that subconsciously does for you is that it eliminates all other options and you have no other choice but to make it work. I backed myself into a corner. Now, I'm not telling you to be some crazy person like I am that just goes and fires their job without knowing what they're gonna do. But I just know how I'm wired. And I knew that I wasn't doing the certain necessary things that I needed to do to figure out how I'm going to become a successful entrepreneur because I had the comfortability of a paycheck. I kept on saying, oh, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Oh, I'm gonna do it next week because I knew that I was gonna get paid next Friday. This is just how I'm wired. I cut it off. But regardless of going to those extremes, you need to make a decision. And also, a decision is definitive. It doesn't have options. And the root word of decision, it comes down to cut off. That's the definition of the root of decision. The problem is that so many people think that they have choices and they're making options instead of picking one thing, focusing on that one thing, and focus stands for follow one course until successful, and actually following that one course until they're actually able to see the compounding effect and actually have exponential results and get that success that looks instant to a lot of people and looks like you got overnight results when actually you were just sticking and had to stick to itiveness to stick to one thing for an extended period of time. But outside of initially making that decision, why I made that decision was because I reached my breaking point, and that's what you need to do. So many people don't realize that they're not achieving the things that they claim that they want to achieve because they haven't reached their breaking point. I was fed up. That's why I fired my job. I would literally think myself sick just with the thought of going into work. Some mornings I would throw up. I had to set my alarm an extra 90 minutes early just to give myself a buffer to whereas if I got sick and nauseous and threw up while I was brushing my teeth and stuff like that. A lot of people don't realize that they're extremely too comfortable and they wallow in their sorrow. A lot of people actually enjoy the predicament that they claim that they hate because they don't take any action to get out of it because they haven't reached their breaking point. When they get off of work, instead of actually just locking in for an hour or hour and a half on the business that they claim that they want to be successful at, they sit on the couch and watch Netflix. Why? Because they're comfortable. They haven't reached that breaking point. Now, I don't know what that's going to be for you, but for me, it was the corniest person that I've ever met, and I consider myself a kind of cool guy, named Dale, who had these beady little ass with these glasses, and he would wear his pants all the way up to his nipples, and he was a super micromanager. What are you working on? What are you working on? Same stuff you told me to work on 30 minutes ago. Come back 15 minutes later. What are you working on? The same stuff you told me to work on 15 minutes before that. My breaking point was that. My breaking point was going to a place that I didn't want to go to be around people that I didn't want to be around, to work a job that I did not want to work for at least 40 hours a week for at least 40 years of my life, to retire for 40% of my income. I said I did not want to be a victim of the 40-40-40 scam. My breaking point was for the holidays when I wanted to go home and see my mother. Dale had the power to tell me no. I said, that's crazy. I'm sitting here as an adult, what I dreamed of becoming when I was a 10-year-old, because when you're an adult, nobody can tell you what you have to do. You can do whatever you want to do. I can eat dessert for dinner if I want to. I'm gonna be my own boss. To Dale telling me that I can't go home for the holidays to see my mama, or to see my grandmama, or to see my cousins, or to see my friends. I hated that. I had reached my breaking point. And I said April 1st, 2016, that's the last day that I'm ever going to work for somebody again a day in my life. And I've held true to that contract that I signed because I don't negotiate back and forth with myself. When I say something is going to get done, I do it until it is done. But pain, it creates urgency, and pain is the ultimate factor that causes people to actually move and make real changes in their life. So for one, you got to reach your breaking point. Secondly, you got to build around your strengths. You got to start to think about what are the things that come easy to you that comes harder for others. I tell people, if you can answer yes to both of these questions, you have at least a 6 to 7 figure business inside of you, and probably even beyond. Number one, has anybody ever asked you how to do anything? I guarantee you the answer is yes. Everybody has been asked some type of advice about something. Secondly, have you ever seen somebody else getting paid for that same exact thing that somebody has asked you for help, assistance, guidance, tutelage about? Guarantee you the answer is yes. If you don't think so, do some research, look it up. If you're seeing that other people are monetizing it with some type of digital product, it's there. Some type of coaching program, a business is there. You see that a published book is available on Amazon or something like that, a business is there. I was just doing research a few weeks ago, and I came across a community where somebody is building a successful online business, helping people hold their breaths longer. A business right there. I was at a networking event. I met somebody that was making anywhere between $40,000 and $70,000 a month, teaching people how to walk dogs. There's a business there. I've helped somebody help people breathe, something that you do without even thinking. There's a business there. I didn't know that there were a lot of mental ailments and things that people are going through that breathing is the solution to. Some people deal with anxiety. There's certain breathing techniques that you can do to get rid of your anxiety. There's crazy stuff out there, but you got to start thinking about what comes easy to you that comes harder for others. What are your natural strengths? Is it something about your personality, right? Ask people. Think about your 9-to-5 jobs that you have worked. They hired you for a certain reason. What was that? For me, I realized it was sales, communication, friendliness. My first real job that I had, I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. That's a 100% sales job. And I would get awards each and every single month for being one of the top salespeople in the entire city. And I live in one of the largest U.S. metropolitan cities, right? Okay, that's sales. Also, discipline. I was an athlete for a majority of my life. I've still probably been an athlete more years on this planet than I have been anything else. Discipline comes into that. I'm not afraid of hard work. It's easy for me to make people around me laugh. Humor is a big part of my life, right? People, they come to me for advice. I've been told from people within my circle, and my homegirls, she's the first one that really told me this. She said that I had high emotional IQ, right? People tell me that I think well on my feet. What are the things about you? Because you wouldn't realize that a lot of those things are actually what's going to be able to help you build and grow the actual business for yourself. So what are your experiences? What are your life experiences? What actually energizes you? Because you need to find something that energizes you, because if you don't, you're just going to end up building a business for yourself that you entirely hate. And I've been through that before, and it sucks. When I hated my basically life, when I worked a 9-to-5 job, I felt like I had somebody I could point and blame. It's Dale's fault why everything's so bad. When in actuality, it's my fault because I put myself in a position where I had to be micromanaged by Dale. Nobody put a gun to my head and forced me to go work at the bank, because my second job was a bank after I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car for exactly 1 year. I worked at a bank for about a year and a half. Then I went full-time as an entrepreneur, bet on myself, right? But you need to find something that energizes you, because this is still going to be a job. You are going to be working for yourself. A lot of people don't realize the word of work in working for yourself. They think that they're just going to have some type of passive income where all that they do is just sit on the beach and drink margaritas, at sunset or something like that. No, you're going to have to put in the work. That's why you need to find something that you look forward to doing, that you actually have some passion about, so you look forward to what it is that you do each and every single day, right? And the easier it is for you, the longer that you actually stick with it. And the more that you enjoy something, the longer you will stick with it. I actually look forward to what I'm doing each and every single day, right? Now, after that, you need to stop planning and start selling. And you need to start selling before you're actually ready. People, they just stay in analysis paralysis. They stay strategizing. They stay watching YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video and never do anything. You need to start selling something. What do you sell? You sell a solution to a specific painful problem in the marketplace for a specific person. That's it. That's all. So, successful entrepreneurs, they make offers, but your ideas are worthless because ideas don't create income. Creating an offer does. Now, something that I highly advise for you, even though I do 100% online business, I help creators grow their income, impact, and influence online with micro niche YouTube channels and digital products. That's what I do. But people are forgetting the problems in this thing. And people are going through real life problems in real life. Typically, you have to take something from the real world so you can bring it to the online world. So when I made my first 7 figures, it was online. It was with the informational, transformational digital product. But it was for people that were looking to get into a small niche in real estate called wholesaling in the real world, right? So when I found my job April 1st, 2016, the first business that I started for myself was in real estate in a small niche called wholesaling. Well, throughout that, I wasn't the most successful. I figured out a way to where I could pay my bills and survive, but it's not like I was rolling in dough or anything like that. But throughout my time, people started to ask me, what was I doing? Not because they had any passion to get started in real estate, just like I didn't have any passion. And that's why I'm so glad that I found what I'm doing now and building my community. But they wanted a way to make income for themselves outside of a 9-to-5, just like that's how I got started into it. So I started to do one-on-one calls. Well, I started to realize that I was getting pretty much the same questions over and over and over again on my one-on-one calls. So I was like, all right, what if I can package all this information into some type of digital product to where I can save my time and be like, okay, instead of doing this one-on-one call where I'm going to be answering the same exact questions that I answered on the past 5, I can just say, hey, click this and go get the answers. I wrote an ebook. My first ebook made a little over $900,000, and I later put a system behind that, and the system stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money. I created a system around that ebook to whereas I was making more money on the back end from upsells, downsells, cross sales, and what's called order bumps, that it took me well beyond the 7-figure level. And then I realized that I can monetize my intellectual property and package what I know how to do for somebody that either wants to learn how to do it or acquire the skill. I can sell that to people that are going through the past issues that I've had. I still do the same exact thing. All that I do in entrepreneurship as well as content creation, I only make stuff for my former self. And I create content and digital products for people that are going through the issues that I had 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, a decade ago, right? So this stuff becomes a lot easier for you if you are able to isolate a problem that you have overcome before. Because think about it, we all have hindsight, right? There's this saying we all say, hindsight's 20/20, or we say stuff like, oh, I wish I knew then what I know now. Well, guess what? We do know now what we wish we would have known then. Why not become the person that you then needed now? That's all that I do. And then it becomes easy to actually build an audience and build a connection with people in your audience because they feel like you're directly talking to them. And I get comments on the daily of people saying stuff like, man, are you spying on me? Man, get out of my head. Man, how you know me? And they don't realize that they are me. The only difference that we have is that I've been doing this for longer than them. but I only talk for my past self, and I only create offers for my past self, and I only build my business for who I wish I had along the way. Now, with this, when you start actually selling, and you need to sell before you're ready, you need to create what's called an MVP, a minimal viable product, something that's minimum enough to where you can get it done quickly, but something that's viable enough to get somebody a result. And you want to get this into the hands of somebody quickly so you can stay in constant feedback loops with the market, so you can get real-time data back to where you know what to refine and you know what to work on. A lot of people are thinking that you're going to have some type of perfect product, a perfect offer out the gate. You're not. You get that perfect product through staying in constant feedback loops with the market. I tell people, the more analog that you stay in the digital world, the more successful you will be in the online digital world, when everybody's just trying to stay away from people. Now, we do this by starting with people that you already know. So when I was figuring myself out and how I was going to figure out a business for me to where I could work within my purpose, I started to call people within my circle. I started to text people. That's how I started to realize things about myself that I didn't even know were my strengths, because other people were telling me this. They were telling me that I'm easy to talk to. They were telling me that I make them laugh. They were telling me that I had high emotional IQ. They were telling me that I'm inspiring because I never quit, and they've seen me get through things that they would have been broken by. I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. So text people, call people. As for referrals, your opportunity is often already within your network. And then get something into the hands of people and let them tell you what they actually want and what they need. That's why I can always move from a sense of I know what people need instead of thinking I know what people want, because I'm constantly talking to people. One of my homies that's in a different business, he was checking out my YouTube channel because he's pretty much convinced on YouTube being a great lead generator for his business. And he was like, man, why you spend so much time in the comments? And I was like, because I want to talk to people. Same reason why I built the community, because I talk to the people, the members in my community, every single day. And we have a coaching call every single week. I'm talking to people. I know what to make. I don't really have to think of content ideas because I know what to make off of the struggles that the people in my community are having or the questions that they have. I know that the audience on my YouTube channel is going to have the same thing. I know how to make my community better because I'm constantly in communication with people. This is the same thing that I did with products. This is the same thing that I did when I used to be in a service-based business. I've been in a physical product-based business as well, even before I went on into a digital product online business space, right? So do your market research. Market research, it beats assumption every single time. Let people tell you what they want. Outside of that, do research. Go and look at some of your competitors. Go look at their comments. See the questions that they have. There's information gaps that you can close. Look at some of their offers. Funnel hack. See what they're doing, right? And then gather people together. This is going to be big. Like I said, the more analog that you can stay in the digital world, it's going to be a separator for you, and you'll start to be able to stick out like a sore thumb online. Get people together, right? Now, whether that's real life people, as far as like maybe putting together some type of networking event at some coffee shop or some restaurant or some deli or something like that, cool. But something that I like to do is workshops. The year before last, I did a webinar every single day. Not every single day, excuse me. I did a webinar once per week, every single week. Every single Thursday, I did a 2 to 3 hour webinar. That was me getting people in a room. Yes, I was selling from that webinar, but as well, getting feedback. I'm hearing from those people. I get people together each and every single week on a call in my community. I'm getting people in a room. I've done free masterclasses to whereas I held a masterclass on Zoom just so I could teach about something, get some fillers out there to see if if this is a good concept that I'm thinking of, and then I have a Q&A session at the end of it. But I had that entire free class on Zoom just so I could get people in a room and hear what real people were saying, so I'll know what to actually create for them. So this stuff, it's not as difficult as people make it seem. And especially nowadays with the advancements in AI, years ago, AI wasn't where it is right now. And I didn't have the access to the tools that I have now. And even in just running my business, things that I do now for free, I used to pay 5 figures per month from different people, to an editor, to a thumbnail designer, to a copywriter, to a funnel builder, to somebody to build all my systems and automations and all that jazz. Now I can just do it myself. And I was listening to a Sam Altman interview not too long ago. If you're not familiar with Sam Altman, he's the creator of ChatGPT, OpenAI. And he said here soon, he believes that there's going to be $1 billion companies that only have like 3 to 5 employees or something like that, if that, because of AI. Well, I'm seeing people, I'm just saying, I'm saving a lot of money because of AI. 5 figures per month are just coming back in my pocket because I can leverage AI, to whereas before the only leverage was through leveraging people. So use AI as a force multiplier. What I mean by that is that AI, it can help you with research. AI can help you with your content ideas. AI can help you with your marketing. It can help you with your lead generation. It can help you with your analysis, right? Use AI to move faster, but not to think less. So many people are going to be lost, and emphasis on that word lost, in this AI age, because they're going to be going to AI for the answers, when AI is not going to be able to give you the answers for you to be successful. You need to use it to help you think better, and use your AI, your actual intelligence, to dump it into the artificial intelligence to help you move faster. But it's not going to give you the answers. And with this, if you use AI as a force multiplier and you use it to help you create faster and research faster, you can join existing conversations, and you can find what are the trends in not only content creation, but in productization. What are the news that's happening? What are the popular conversations that people are having within your space? This is important because it connects back to your expertise, and you can speak from it and become a trusted authority, because these are going to be the topics that people are searching for. Your audience for your business, it already exists. They're already consuming information about something that you can offer. In order to get in front of them, all that you have to focus on is making the content that they're already consuming. And then the algorithm, by nature, it's just going to place you in front of them. I highly recommend you get started on YouTube. I wish that I was doing what I'm doing now years ago. I'm speaking from the experience of somebody that built social media audiences to over 100,000 followers. The most amount of money that I spent on ads in a single month is a little over $100,000. The power of a small micro niche YouTube channel trumps all. I haven't been on social media, period, since holiday season of 2023. Why did I leave all that audience behind? Because I was like, man, I would much rather have 10,000 YouTube subscribers than 100,000 Instagram followers, which I've proven myself to be right so far. But everybody comes to YouTube to learn how to do everything. Even people that want to grow on short form social media platforms, they come to YouTube to learn how to grow on the short form. They don't go to Instagram to learn how to grow an Instagram page. They come to YouTube for that. They don't go to TikTok to learn how to grow on TikTok. They come to YouTube for that. So you can join existing conversations and basically just place yourself in front of people, because they're already looking for something. If you simply just make it, YouTube's algorithm by default is going to place you in front of them. Just think about you consuming this video right now. I didn't come track you down and say, hey, come watch my stuff. You probably have a viewer history of watching similar videos as this, and I know that. And YouTube places me in front of you since you watch similar style stuff. It's pretty simple. And then in pricing, if we're going to get to $1 million, for one, make the decision to do it, put an actual time frame on it. That's another thing too. Put a time frame on when you're going to do it. And then it comes down to simple math. So if you have a $100 offer, you're going to need more customers. You have a $10,000 offer, you're going to need fewer customers. Price changes everything, but with this, realize this. Price is only an issue if value is absent. So many people are stuck on how much they should charge for something when you shouldn't be focused on that at all. What is the result that somebody's going to get from whatever it is that you are going to offer to the marketplace? The value needs to be there. A rule of thumb that I have is I want to give at least 10 times more value on my offer than what it is that they're going to get. And then it becomes pretty easy to sell $100 bills for $10. And also this, low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket products. You don't want to be stuck in the middle. Just like in the economy, the middle class gets it the worst. It's the same thing in business, right? So if you're going to go high ticket, cool. Just know that most likely you're going to have to be on sales calls because people typically don't just swipe their cards to buy stuff for, 4 to 5 figures. Low ticket, if you're going to go low ticket, which I love low ticket, but the money is not made on the front end of low ticket offers. Amateurs make money on the front end, experts make money on the back end. So if it's some type of low ticket digital product or something like that, a lot of people are thinking that the money is made on the front end. Like me, my very first offer that I made, I had a $47 ebook. People were thinking that I was making so much money on this $47 ebook. I'm not saying that I didn't, I made a lot, but I had upsells on the back end. But the only people that were able to see the upsells are people that had already made a purchasing decision to get this low ticket offer. So for one, I had something called an order bump available, which my order bump was like $25. An order bump is some no-brainer item that goes hand in hand with your core offering. So if you're going out to get a burger, think about the fries and the shake. The fries and the shakes are order bumps. You come from the core offer, which is the burger. Here, you can get the fries and the shake. Then I had an upsell that was, I believe in this particular funnel was $200. Then for people that declined that, I downsold them the same exact thing for an additional 50% off for $100. Then I had another upsell, and then I had another downsell, and then I had my thank you page, which at the time I was offering my community. But nobody would see my next offer unless they already made a purchasing decision. This comes back to how I started off the video with the decision. So many people online also are messing up by giving the customer entirely too many choices to make instead of simply just making a yes or no decision. This is basic human psychology behind why we buy stuff. That's why we all go into the store with one thing in mind, but we typically walk out with a few more things than the one thing that we came in for. The same psychology goes behind this. So this is how you actually make a lot of money with a low ticket item or a low ticket digital product. I got this idea from IKEA, the furniture store, because if I do this, it starts to look familiar. You know how IKEA, they bring you in the store for whatever you're coming for. Last time I went to IKEA, it's been a while, but I went for a cowhide rug for my living room. But when I was in IKEA, guess what? IKEA, they force you to see everything else that they have available. And the best time to sell something to somebody is immediately after they purchase something or while they're buying. Why? Because a buyer is always a buyer and will always be a buyer. Human psychology behind buying. Well, when I was in IKEA, I was like, like I had just moved into my house. I was like, I do need some plates and some bowls. Well, I got some plates and bowls. Then I got some cutlery, some knives, some forks, some spoons. Then I got some glasses. I would have got a trash can, but I wanted one of those motion sensor joints. They didn't have that. And then I got my cowhide rug, but I came there just for the cowhide rug. This is the same thing here. These people originally came from my ebook. They're like, oh, didn't know he had that. A percentage of people did buy that. Oh, didn't know he had that. A percentage of people did buy that. Well, guess what? I just got an extra $200 out the person that came with the initial mind frame to spend 47. For the people that declined it, oh, I can get it for 50% off. Guess what? People love a deal. And if somebody didn't take it, so what? It's a digital product. I made my money on the front end. If they do, great. This is all extra income. Then the same thing comes down here. This is how you make money with a low ticket offer, a low ticket digital product. Amateurs make money on the front end, experts make money on the back end. So if you're going to go low ticket versus high ticket, which me personally, I hate the high ticket space, but that's just me. Either have a model like this or have something recurring to where you get monthly recurring revenue. This is what people really want in business. A lot of people are shooting for passive income when actually you want predictable recurring income. You want predictable monthly recurring income, right? So that's to where somebody buys something from you once, but they pay for it over and over and over and over again. So think communities, think software, stuff of that nature, right? But this model or this model is how you make money with a low ticket offer or a low ticket digital product. But price is only an issue if value is absent regardless. And just know, cheap isn't always easier. So if you're gonna charge more, think about delivering more. But when I'm saying delivering more, I'm not talking about more aspects or more things with it. So many people are focused on the pieces instead of the payoff. What is the payoff with any of our items? People don't care to buy more stuff. They want whatever the result that the thing that they're buying is going to get them. They want the transformation. They want the result. They want the new identity, right? And cheap isn't always better. So a lot of people, they're thinking about making their stuff the cheapest and selling like a $1 thing to 1 million people. Well, do you want $1 people problems? That's just something to think about. You might want to be Walmart, or you might want to be Target, or you might want to be Neiman Marcus. Everybody is successful, but there's different people and probably different customer service issues that you're having with the people at different price points, right? So cheap isn't always going to be better, but just make sure that you're worth it no matter what price point that you're going at, or no matter what customer that you're targeting. And remember, price is only an issue if value is absent. Now, with this, we want to follow the data because it's hard to grow what we don't track and measure. So many people that are trying to build these online businesses, they're not following any data at all, and they're paying entirely too much attention to the numbers that don't matter, like views, likes, subscribers, comments, hypes, whatever that is, instead of focusing on the true numbers that matter, which are your KPIs, which stands for key performance indicators, right? So not only are we going to be looking at the performance of the actual content, but we're going to be looking at the conversions from that content. How many people landed on our sales pages? From those people that landed on our sales pages, what percentage of those people converted into an actual sale? If we got this many views on the content and then we don't get that many views on our sales page, okay, well, now I know that I need to fix something in my verbiage of my content because people aren't traveling. They're not migrating from the content to the sales page. If they are getting on the sales page and I'm not getting any leads from it, okay, well, now I know I have a copywriting issue. What does my headline say? What does my video sales letter say? What does the body of my page say? If they're not converting into sales, if I'm selling on the back end of that, okay, what if I'm doing emails? Okay, well, now I know I have an email copy thing. If I'm selling directly from the sales page, I know that I have a copy problem, right? The copy is just the words on a page, right? But we need to be focused on the things that are actually going to move our business instead of the vanity metrics like a content creator. We don't want to be content creators. We want to be contentpreneurs. Member of my community just a few weeks ago, he doesn't have one YouTube video that has over 30 views, yet he got a $10,000 sale. For a content creator, they would think that his YouTube channel is struggling. He sucks at YouTube, but he's only focused on coming up with content that is focusing on solving a particular painful problem for people within his niche to where his offer solves. He has an offer, something to do with AI, right? And when you're following the data and when you do start to get conversions from following the right data, collect reviews relentlessly. Why? Because it builds trust. And people are skeptical, as they have every right to be, and as they should be skeptical of everybody. But you know what eases that skepticism? Reviews, results. And when you get results for people start to sell for you, and you don't have to do that much selling. All that you have to do is focus in on the brand. And then when people become associated and familiar and start to know and like and trust you, the brand, then they'll start to see the results that you get for other people, and your results can speak for yourself. All that you have to focus on doing is just genuinely adding value to the marketplace. So it's what I call the evangelistic effect. No matter what happens, if somebody gets a good result or that transformation, by nature, they're going to feel indebted to you, and they're going to want to tell you that you just changed their life, and they're going to go and tell other people. That's going to be a compounding effect that's going to happen for you over time. So anytime you get a testimonial, anytime you get a positive review, if you can use some of those testimonials for a case study, to where you can make content to present to somebody how you got this result for someone. This right here, this is going to blow up your business, because social proof, it lowers resistance. But with this, what you need to do, I call it having a date with destiny, or scheduling your success. So many people schedule everything in their life except for success. They'll go out and they'll have dates with other people, friendship dates, romantic dates, but they don't have a date with destiny. Success doesn't happen on accident. You have to be intentional with it. So you need to schedule your success. You need to put business building activities on your calendar and treat them like true appointments, because consistency compounds. Think about this. People, they don't miss appointments with anybody else, but then all of a sudden, when it's stuff that they claim that they want to do, they find every excuse not to do it. I missed it. Because they didn't make a schedule to actually do that and stick to that schedule no matter what happens. My circle will tell you, when I'm scheduled to do something, when I'm having my date with my destiny, and I'm saying during this hour and this hour, between this time block, I'm working on me. I'm working on my business. I'm working on my community. I'm working on refining my offers. I'm working on YouTube ideation ideas. I cannot be bothered during that time. My phone is on airplane mode, on silent, and in a drawer in my kitchen. I cannot be reached. I'm hanging out with some of my friends. It's crib. Oh man, we had a good time. What? Nah, I got a date with Destiny at 8:30 tomorrow. I can't miss it. Schedule your success and be serious with it. You make sure that you're on time to all kinds of stuff that you don't want to do, but the stuff that you want to do, you make every excuse not to do it. Think about that. And consistency compounds, and so many people tell me that they have a consistency issue, when in actuality, they don't. You're very consistent at all the wrong stuff. Just flip that and start to be consistent at the things that you already know that you should be doing, because deep down you already know. You just keep on looking for confirmation and permission outside of yourself. But you become the person. Once you become the person, then you will start to get what it is that you desire. The be comes before the get. A lot of people think that they're going to get something before they become something. But no, you have to become something greater before you can get what it is that you desire. So many people, they say, oh, once I get an audience, then I'll start doing blah, blah, blah. How do you think you're going to get the audience? You have to become somebody that is deserving of the audience. That's somebody that shows up consistently and adds value to the marketplace. Well, what does that person do? Start doing that now, so then you will get what it is that you want. Same thing goes hand in hand with business. Same thing goes hand in hand with entrepreneurship. Same thing goes hand in hand in ideation and product creation. You have to become first. You reach your breaking point, identify your strengths, create an offer, talk to people, leverage AI, because you are living in the best time in human existence as far as being able to accumulate income for yourself, because we all have access to leverage, whereas years past, everybody didn't have access to leverage. Follow the data, improve your offer over time, and repeat consistently. And it may get boring over time, but I'm here to tell you, success is boring. And if you consistently show up and do the boring things each and every single day, you'll start to build a business to where you're actually walking within your purpose and making peaceful profits, just like all them that you see on the screen right now. And if you're ready to turn your YouTube channel into a digital product sales system, saving yourself time, energy, and money, then go ahead and click the link down in the description and join this Credit at the Top community. And I look forward to building with you. And go ahead and check out this video right here for a complete step-by-step free course on how you can build your income, impact, and influence online from stuff that you already know with the digital product. It's Credit at the Top.